If you guys have not tried this drill, I would highly recommend you go out and give it a try. What's up, guys? I'm really excited about today's video, especially based on the feedback that I got on the last video we did, where we reviewed the GBRS, universal shooting standards. Really seems like this is a topic that the community is interested in. I like that because it's also a topic that I'm pretty interested in. I like to know kind of where I'm at, where I succeed, where I fail. I try to, keep it pretty raw here in terms of my performance, showing you guys the targets. If you're new to the channel, my name is Justin Jackson. I'm a former Army guy. I really started this channel so that I could kind of hold myself accountable to getting better with firearms. So coming out here and doing these drills, doing these standards is something that I'm pretty interested in because I like to know where I'm at. I think it'd be cool to, show you guys a standard and then go out and train for a period of time and then come back and make another video saying, hey, we started here and by doing these things, we were able to get to here. And so now you guys can do that too. So with that being said, today we are doing the X-Ray Alpha CQB warm-up drill. This drill was invented by Matt Pranka. I think that's how you say it, Matt Pranka, I don't know. We're gonna say Pranka for the time being. He is a former special operations guy. I'm pretty sure he was over there with CAG, with Delta Force. There's a decent amount of people in the soft community who don't really like him because he's pretty straightforward with the way he teaches. He's kind of like that coach in high school that just said things as they were, and you either got offended or you got better. It was your choice. I personally like the way he teaches. I like how straightforward and upfront he is. I also think that this is a pretty interesting topic because one of GBRS's greatest critics is Matt Pranka. Whenever they really post any of their shooting, he's one of the first guys to come out and say something about it. So we kind of have this GBRS standard that we crushed, and now we have another video, which I haven't recorded yet. I do the intros before I record, and we're gonna see kind of how I shoot compared to his standard. So all that being said, let's just jump into this. Real quick, I'm gonna go over what the drills are in the CQB warm-up so you guys kind of have an idea, and then you guys know how it goes. The first thing you'll notice with this is that we have two targets about 1 meter apart. That's one of the cool things about this is you are actually doing target transitions on every single drill, which was one of my main complaints about the GBRS standard. The other thing that you'll notice is we're doing it from a lot of varying distances. So we've got cones, which I'll show you here in a second, at the 7-yard line, the 10-yard line, the 20-yard line, and all the way back at the 40-yard line. And this is kind of how we're gonna use them. First part of the drill, 2 rounds per target standing, 2 rounds per target prone. That is at the 40-yard line, and the time standard is 6 seconds. Next, 2 rounds per target standing at 40, then you move to the 20-yard line, 2 rounds per target at the 20. So both standing, and that is a 9-second time standard. The next drill we have is 2 rounds per target at the 20, move to the 10, 2 rounds per target at the 10 with a 7-second time standard. Next we have 3 rounds per target, transition to the pistol, 3 rounds per target with the pistol with a time standard of 6 seconds. Then the next one is kind of a combat reload. So you're actually gonna have your gun empty. It says empty rifle mounted on target. So you're aiming at the target. Then when the timer goes off, you're going to transition to your pistol, 3 rounds per target with the pistol with a time standard of 3 seconds. Then finally, the last drill, your rifle is pointed at the target with an empty magazine, bolt lock open. You're going to conduct a reload and then put 3 rounds per target with a time standard of 5 seconds. So you guys will notice that the distances go pretty decently far back and the time standards are ridiculous. So I'm actually very curious to see how I do. Another thing to mention is that this is actually graded with where your impacts hit. So whereas the GBRS standard, my understanding, they don't really clarify, but my understanding is that you want them all in the A zone. This one actually does more of a hit factor. It's not really hit factor, but I guess it kind of is hit factor. The point system is the same as hit factor. Alphas are 5 points, Charlies are 3 points, Deltas are 1 point, and misses are 0. So to get a 100% score is 240 points. A good score is considered 216, which is 90%. And then a passing grade is 85%, which is 204 points. So when we're all done, we'll count up on the targets, see what we're at, see if we pass or not. And if we don't pass, then it's lessons learned and we go back to the drawing board. Also, I know I'm gonna get some questions in the comments asking about what rifle I'm using. This is a 11.5-inch Aero Precision upper. This is just an Anderson lower. Vortex Crossfire on the Unity mount. Veltor buttstock. Basically, it's the same gun that I made a freaking video on a while back ago. So I'll link it in the comments below, but it's basically the same build that I just did a video on a few weeks back. In fact, the only thing that's changed is I actually took the iron sights off, and then I added this Streamlight right here. This is a Streamlight ProTac HPX. It's a fairly big light, to be honest, but I actually really like it. So link in the comments below. Also, that being said, if you guys are in the tactical industry and you own a company that makes products, whether it's guns, whether it's lights, ammo, whatever it might be, with the channel growing and getting a ton of people reaching out, I am interested in trying new products out, even if you're not a name brand. I do want to build strong relationships with companies early. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, go to the bio on my YouTube channel and there's an email. You can email me. The second option would be to go to my Instagram, which I'll put right here below, and just shoot me a DM. I answer all my DMs, guys. I love hearing from you. I love hearing the support. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so first drill from the 40. All right, so I did not try that position from the prone and realized that unless I was up on my elbows, I could not even see the targets because I'm kind of at a slope right here. So I'm actually changing the position. If you guys see, I just moved, my cones were in the grass before. I just brought them back a little bit because that first round, I could barely even see the target. So I went and pasted it up. I'll still show you guys where I hit. We're gonna restart, and we're gonna start from the road so I don't have a bunch of vegetation in the way when I'm trying to hit these targets. It is what it is. All right, here we go, on the timer. All right, that was a 6:36, so I think we broke time by 0.36 seconds. No clue where the shots went. Now gonna walk back to the 40, 2 rounds per target standing, run up to the 20, 2 rounds per target standing. Time was a 7:54. All right, no different here, except for we are starting at the 20, running the 10, same thing, 2 rounds per target standing. Holy shit, dude. Freaking magazine empty. Obviously the right freaking answer is to do a transition there, but trying to do the drill the way the drill is meant to be done. So there's gonna be 4 rounds on the target. They're not supposed to be there. So what we'll do when we're grading is we'll just take all the misses, or I guess the Charlies and the Deltas, we'll count those first so that if I were to get a bad Charlie or Delta there, it's counting against me still, even if I get, you know, a perfect score right here on this run. Definitely got a Delta there. Time there was 5:67. Now we're here at the 10-yard line. 3 rounds per target with the rifle. Then you're gonna transition to your pistol. 3 rounds per target pistol. We're losing sunlight here, so I gotta make this fast. Time was 4:68. Second to last drill. Rifle is mounted on target, meaning we're like aimed at the target, ready to shoot. And we're essentially, when the buzzer goes off, transitioning 3 rounds per target with our pistol. Grip felt a little weird there. Time limit is 3 seconds. That was a 2:77. This is the final drill. This is weapon again, mounted, so we're aiming at the target. Your gun is empty, bolt is locked to the rear. You're going to conduct a reload, 3 rounds per target. I think the time standard was 3 seconds. Choppy reload, 384. Kind of got caught up grabbing the mag, is what it is. I do not think that went well, but we're gonna show you guys the targets and we're gonna talk about it. Real quick, I think there was probably 2 time standards there that I busted. Let's look at these targets, let's add up the scores. Remember, there's gonna be 4 rounds from when I started the drill and redid. Wait, you guys remember the magazine went dry, I had to go and re-up, so there's 4 rounds in here. that don't count towards our score. So we're going to start by counting the Charlies and Deltas. So if any of them were Charlies and Deltas, they're counting against us instead of counting the Alphas to start off with. The lighting is freaking terrible. I apologize, guys. Handy dandy little calculator out here. I'm just going to point to the rounds and then we're going to count them up. So like I said, starting with any Deltas or Charlies, we've got one Delta right here. And then for Charlies, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're looking at the second target. We're going to count up the Charlies and the Deltas. In terms of Deltas, we don't have any, but for Charlies, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so if you take basically the remaining shots we could have taken and count those as alphas, because I did not miss the target, fingers crossed, at least I don't think I missed the target. And you take the remaining shots, which would have been 28 more shots. Our final score was 198, which is actually pretty freaking terrible. Probably somewhere around like an 80%. I'll do the math and put it somewhere here so you guys can see it. The most interesting thing to me out of this entire drill was my rifle performance was freaking terrible. On both targets, all pistol shots were completely clean, which makes sense because I've pretty much only been training pistol for the past 6 months. And on this target alone, I've got 8 misses with my rifle on target 1 and 1 pistol actually, which I caught. And then on target 2, I've got 11 rifle misses, which just should not be happening. Basically, my takeaway from this is a freaking awesome drill to do. If I can just shoot a little bit better with my rifle, then I think these shots are a lot easier. Things I really like about this is movement is involved. No movement while you're shooting, which I think is definitely something that could be added in. The requirement for you to be fast between these 10-yard sprints, and then the ability to be able to control your shots while your heart rate is pumping and your lungs are going up and down. I think that's freaking awesome. I'm definitely going to start dry firing with my rifle again. I've known this is something I gotta be doing, especially since that GBRS one, because even then I was pretty disappointed with my times. But now we're dry firing rifle every day. The plan from here is a lot more dry fire with the rifle. And then 2, I'm going to be doing this probably weekly and putting the results in my Instagram. So if you guys want to see the results from that, go to my Instagram. And if I end up getting to the point where I'm blowing this freaking drill out of the water like I should be, I'll probably do another YouTube video and talk about what I did to go from here to here.